Me with a good time.
No kidding. Oh, it's a good time, all right, folks. And as we are live, Vegas goes down, Montreal moves on. We're going to talk about it, and we may celebrate it. This is Teal Town Live. Good evening, everyone. And surprise, it's June 24th, 2021. One of the Sharks' biggest rivals goes down to a team that normally wouldn't have been in the playoffs. So, welcome to Teal Town Live. This is live interactive for all hockey fans everywhere. So, if you want to be part of the show, here's how you do it. Chat with us and fellow hockey fans on the page or the app. Follow us on the social at Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, everywhere, and find everything at tealtownusa.com. Hi, everyone. Alongside AJ Strong and Ian Reid, I am Erik Kuhre. Guys, how you doing out there?
I'm good. I mean, this playoffs has made me look like an absolute buffoon, but I'll take it.
Me too.
Yeah. No, terrific game. A great series all around, guys. I mean, my goodness. I don't think anybody really called Montreal in this, and a 6-game upset of, I would say, epic proportions, AJ. I mean, this team, like I said, if this was a normal year, this team would not be in the playoffs. And now they're 4 wins away from winning the big shiny thing.
Yeah, if I'm if I'm Doug Wilson, I'm on the phone right now to the Canadiens going, can I speak with Richardson, please? I'm just saying. No, this has been amazing, a fantastic series. Of course, I'm a biased Sharks fan, so love to see the Golden Knights lose, but to see them go down the way they did with just the money guys completely absent from this series. Mark Stone, donuts just down the line. If this happened in San Jose, you'd hear people complaining, whether it was Couture or Thornton or whoever. People would be going, he's supposed to be the captain. Where the hell is he? And blah, blah, blah. I'm not hearing a lot of that. In fact, if anything, I'm hearing more about, if this doesn't happen, DeBoer's got to go. And I'm like, are you serious?
I mean, two things can be true.
Dude, credit the Canadiens. I mean, they played their game, and I mean, they get that lead, and then they just lock everything down tighter than a frog's ass. You look at where they're pushing out Vegas, just all the shots coming from the perimeter. Now, granted, the 2 goals that Vegas did have tonight, they were up close, but they were off rebounds. Those shots initially came from the outside, 50 feet away. And
they were right there for, to be in that spot. Alec Martinez, had a heck of a game with that tying goal and some strong defense. But, I mean, again, timely positioning there.
Dude, fortuitous bounces. I mean, look at the game 5. Like, the 1 goal Vegas had was a fluke. It was off a whiff. So just, enjoy the welcome to our world, Vegas fans, where you go to the playoffs every year, but you don't quite get over the hump.
Yeah, I mean, and you have to give credit. Like, I mean, it was funny because after the Colorado series, like, there was like this basically shrine being built to Peter DeBoer, and it's funny because like everything that Vegas did to the Avalanche, Montreal turned around and did to them, and there was no answer. Like, they made a few lineup changes here and there. They flip-flop between Panda and Fleury, which, I mean, I don't blame him for starting Panda tonight. I think that Fleury looked like he's kind of had the yips his last 2 starts. But I mean, that's not the story, right? Like, AJ hit it right off the top. Like, you can't have your top 9 forwards not score goals. You can't win a playoff series that way. So I mean, yeah, I think there'll be some talk about goaltending, but I really don't think that's where the talk should be.
No, not at all. And if anything, and I know what a lot of the big point is, should have started Leonard in game 5. That was the problem. Like DeBoer's going to catch a lot of shit for not starting Leonard in game 5. And it's just like, can somebody bring me Mark Stone's stat sheet over this series? Like, give me a break.
Oh, you
Yeah,
get.
and I don't think Leonard. I didn't think Leonard played. Like Leonard made some really big saves tonight. Like
He did.
it was a good game. Like I mean, Leonard's going to be the goalie that's going to go down getting the loss. And I think when you have this kind of a goaltending tandem, this is the problems you're going to have, right? There's going to be always second guessing because when you don't have a clear number one guy, and Vegas doesn't. I mean, Vegas is blessed with 2 really, really good goaltenders. So obviously, it doesn't really. You're wrong no matter what. Like, as long as you lose, you're wrong.
And let's be honest here. I think the least of worries outside of that little fluky play that Fleury gave to Anderson in Game 4, their goaltending has been solid. I mean, I think that's the least of their worries. I mean, their defense
goaltending's not their problem.
Defense was awesome. It was just their top six or top 9 for that matter. Getting goals in this, and hats off. Speaking of goaltending, hats off to Carey Price. I mean, my goodness, I almost think if Montreal wins this whole thing, it's already Carey Price's name is already chiseled on the Conn Smythe.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, without a doubt.
No doubt about that. But I just, I go back to, it's like anybody who wants to sit there and talk about. You should have went with Leonard in the last game, or this is DeBoer's fault, or whatever. If they want to sit there and try to pull that one, it's like, hey, good try, good effort. Let me remind you that the 3 people that you're looking at right now have the same amount of power play goals in this series as the Vegas Golden Knights.
I still think though, but here's the one thing that I will say against DeBoer, and not just because DeBoer is one of my favorite punching bags on this site, obviously, but like. The Habs got better every game, and they had, with that, there was no answer. And how many times have we seen that in Art and in his time in San Jose, where suddenly something goes wrong and then DeBoer has no answer and it's over just like that.
Absolutely.
You can tell that the confidence in Vegas was gone after Game 5. I mean, we've seen them for a number of years come with so much swagger, so much confidence, can score at will, and that just went by the wayside in this series. Like, this series, in a way, to me, is monumental for Vegas because they kind of got Vegased themselves. I mean, Montreal just came with the game right back at them. They didn't have that confidence, that swagger that they've always had. I mean, it's like a little bit of a little bit chopping off of their confidence a little bit in this, and you wonder, and maybe that's why PDB's name's kind of been on the chopping block a little bit.
How many times do we see Vegas come back from being down in a game this playoffs? I mean, it's like if you were going in and if Vegas was down 2-0 in the third, you're going, this could easily go to overtime. And a couple times it did. So it's when they tied it up in the third, early in the third, I was like, oh crap, here we go. And I'm like, oh man, this is going back to Vegas. God damn it. And booyah. I mean, this, as Erik said, like, it feels like Vegas got Vegased. And how can you not pull for the Canadiens? Like, the last Canadian team to win a Stanley Cup, and it was nearly 30 years ago. It's just kind of all right, look, come on, Team Canada right now. Let's go.
Because here's the problem, AJ. See, once upon a time, before there was a team in San Jose, there was a team in Montreal. And now, so Sharks come into the league. A couple years later, Montreal wins a cup. Now they're going to win another one. I'm questioning life choices here.
Speaking of life choices, how do you think the Leafs feel, and how do Toronto fans feel right now? Like I said in our Discord chat, you got to have that sinking feeling like the Sharks did in 2014, seeing a team coming out of nowhere to go to the Cup final.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, right? Because I feel like, I mean, how many people called this outcome?
Right.
Like, I mean, it's awesome that they're there, but I
Well,
don't know. Like, I look at the way that this Canadians team is playing, and if I don't really take much solace thinking, well, if my team was just a little better, they'd be in the same spot, because I don't know. I don't know that. Like, I don't know. I mean, you could say, oh well, yeah, I guess if it didn't matter who made it here, they were gonna get past Vegas, but I don't. I think that'd be foolhardy.
I wonder if this is again, and easy storyline, but is this the Cinderella team? Is had no business getting past Toronto, had no business getting past Winnipeg, had no business moving beyond Vegas. 4 wins away from a cup. I mean,
Mhm.
this has been just unbelievable. And then of course the really funny thing being is that the last a lot of talk. If you follow our buddy over at Sin Bin, Chief was losing his mind 2 nights ago, and the funny thing is there's a few people saying, who they need to get back into this game? They need to get Reeves back in. He brings energy and blah, blah, blah. For all the popping off that Reeves does, like if you were really that valuable, you wouldn't be a scratch in the most meaningful game of the season.
Yeah, and if I'm Vegas, like I want out of that contract
Yeah.
going forward. Like I'm trying to move that contract because that's an easy. I think you will find somebody else who will pick him up at that price point. But if you're looking at the decisions Vegas has to make going into the offseason, like they're gonna have to move some cap. Like I think, because they don't have like double-edged sword. I mean, it's good because they're not going to lose a goalie, but they don't have Seattle's not going to come and take a player from them. They had to do it the old-fashioned way. So it's kind of a double-edged sword there for them. I mean, on the plus side, again, they get to keep their goaltending tandem together. Fleury obviously being the last year of his deal next year. But, yeah, yikes.
But yet on the other side, there's already some people saying, well, now that they lost, now they're going to just do what they do and just say, well, forget this. We're just going to trade whatever to get like Jack Eichel or something like they did, in the offseason where they said, just move aside
I know.
Nate Schmidt. We'll get
unfair.
Pietrangelo instead and see what happens. And we'll just give you to Vancouver for pennies on the dollar. I mean,
I have 2 words for you. Nick Suzuki.
Yeah.
what was that tweet again?
Which one?
The one from, I think it was Urinating Tree. What was it?
I don't
It was
even
like
know.
you imagine you have the brand recognition, horsepower, and then you lose you get outplayed by a Suzuki.
I mean, I thought like, and I remember when we did the preview show. I mean, I wasn't writing anything else on that show, but I did say Nick Suzuki was going to have a big series. So I mean, I can hang my hat on that at least.
Oh, but
Well, we'd all be remiss if you don't mention Suzuki, but of course Caulfield.
Oh yeah,
man.
Caulfield's great.
Holy hell, is this kid going to be fun to watch over the next few years?
Mm-hmm.
I mean that definitely changes the plan of getting undersized, and I'll use those terms in quotation marks, undersized players and skipping them in the draft because that kid's got mitts, that kid's got speed. I mean,
Oh yeah,
shoot.
like another player who I thought what shouldn't have fell to the second round. Also, same thing. Like Alex DeBrincat should have never fallen to the second
Oh, yeah.
round, but here we are.
Well-
Another guy, same thing. Super, tiny, itty bitty, but guy can put the puck in the net.
Well, in the guys on Sportsnet talking before the game and during the game about the whole Clydesdale thing. Like everybody's going, how is this, this defensive squad of Montreal going to keep pace? And it's like, well, again, go look at Mark Stone's stat sheet, the Clydesdales, and you see it's like 6'3", 6'4", 6'4", 6'3", big guys. It's not little guys like Ryan Merkley and Erik Karlsson. It makes you wonder, Maybe there's still a little space out there for the Chris Prongers of the world, the Shea Webbers, the beefy guys, the Brent Burnses, if you will.
Oh
Right.
yeah, I think so. I think, but I mean, it's not only that though, but it's the game plan, right? Like if you go look at the heat maps for shots in any of these games, like Vegas got nothing in the high slot, nothing. Like they were everything that, like, there's a reason why a lot of their offense came from their defense is because they're just point shot after point shot after point shot, because that's the only thing they could get through to Price.
Yeah. Let's get to some of the comments in the chat really quick. Alden T, I think that's an agreement with for sure myself and AJ. I know Ian can get poutine whenever, but I sure could use some poutine right now. Also, suck it, Vegas. Yeah, I miss Augie's being open right now, AJ. That's for damn sure.
Well, yeah, I totally missed that. The other thing that I think is kind of funny is this isn't one of those series where the fans can sit there and blame and whine about the officials, because it's like, Montreal going into Game 5, they had almost a 2-to-1 ratio and more more power play opportunities than Montreal, and then these last two games, I think most people would say that, yeah, they pretty much had the whistles jammed up their ass both ways.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the one thing I can look at this game and say, you can't blame the officiating.
No.
These last two games, you can't blame the officiating. So that Game 4 was ridiculous. When Perry's sitting there with like 8 stitches in his nose. No, it's good. That's a hockey play, guys.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think I was really surprised because I really honestly, like, when after Game 4, I was like, oh no, this isn't gonna end well, and I'm so glad I was wrong. And I think that's just like the Sharks fan in me, because like the Sharks would have lost that Game 4 where they were the better team, and then it just all would have fallen apart, right? But I mean, credit to Montreal, it didn't, because I really thought, I'm like, oh man, that is the kind of game where you're gonna look back after the series and go, oh crap, that's when we should have won. And credit to them, they won the next two after that. So
well, can we all talk about the flub by Fleury?
Yeah. How huge is that?
Right?
I mean,
that Fleury flub.
That's a series.
Something else.
That was a series changer for sure. I mean,
I guarantee you, Sinbin is blowing up right now talking about that.
Oh man, I mean, you do feel. Oh no, I don't. Not really. I mean, I was gonna say you do feel a little bad because there's that, but those are the flubs we've seen for years. I mean, we've seen Urbe do it for years. Epic Toskala gave it right to Samsonov in a year that I think San Jose should have been in a cup final with ease.
You would like to talk about playoff flubs? Can we mention the Montreal GM for a hot minute?
There you go, Mark Bergevin throwing the puck into his own net against the Sharks in 2000. I mean, and I remember seeing another tweet out there saying that Mark Bergevin's job was saved thanks to COVID-19. I mean, this guy has.
It ain't wrong. This is the hard thing. Like, this is the thing that I have trouble reconciling, because and I've pretty much picked against the Habs every round, because it's hard to reconcile. This team's going to play for a Stanley Cup, and I'm not even sure they're in the playoffs next year.
Yeah, you're not the only one to think that.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it'll be interesting to see, like, because Toronto's going to be in there. Tampa's going to be in there. Florida's going to be in there. Question marks in Boston. What's Boston going to look like next year with Tuukka Rask needing surgery and probably missing half the season? So maybe there's an in there, but, like... I understand that other than Tampa, all these teams aren't playing anymore, but like over an 82-game stretch, is this team a playoff team? I don't know. And that's the part I can't reconcile in my brain.
Yeah. No. It's crazy to see what that's going to be, because the Eastern Conference is stacked going on to next year. Kevin saying, what about all the defensive clubs Vegas make by not back checking and never playing the pass? Or the giant flub that is Steve Spott's power play. I don't blame Fleury at all. Oh yeah, we weren't playing.
Well, no one's dogging. Like, yeah, I mean, Fleury made that one flub, but I mean, he was solid.
Yeah,
dude. I brought up the power play earlier. I mean, Dude, zero. Meanwhile, Montreal, 3 shorties. So, you know, like, dude, if Vegas has learned anything from this, it's that they need to just leave spot in Montreal when they go back to Vegas. And look, Sharks fans have known this for a while. It's you know how this guy remains employed. I don't know if he has compromising photos of Pete DeBoer, but here we are.
Yeah.
Caught him at MGM Grand or something like that. I mean, shoot.
Well, and Lacey was bringing up the the idea about the forecheck. Dude, did we all forget the last game when like Mark Stone turned it over in the neutral zone, didn't even back check and just half-assed it back to the bench? You know, and that's the example that your captain is setting. Again, dude, we would be ripping Couture a new one if he played like that and posted donuts for a series.
Joe Thornton got ripped in Boston in 2004 for his play against Montreal, and then he came out and said that he was barely 100. He wasn't even 100% at all. Not to defend Mark Stone, but you wonder if he's injured of some sort coming into this series.
Dude, that the way he's been this series and with that back check, dude, he better require surgery like this weekend or something. Like it better be bad. If it comes out that it's like, no, Mark Stone, he was just frustrated. He really wasn't battling anything that anybody else wasn't. But like, if it's nothing, it's just
it'd be like the year like we're like, oh man, Evander Kane must be just absolutely broken. He's like, no, I'm good.
Yeah. but guys, I mean, let's be honest here. It is continuing a tradition in Vegas Golden Knights history where a team captain is non-existent. So
it's true.
Yow. Hi-yo.
Thank you.
Oh, that's so good.
Thank you. I mean, just saying. I mean, come on, that's a tough one to take.
Working with comedy writers.
Oh gosh. Hey, not gonna lie. When I saw the beer cans on Nassau Ice, I was like, oh shoot, AJ's gonna see that and throw like $11.5 million on Erik Karlsson next season.
Oh, what wild! Yeah, that was wild.
But I mean, we'll flip over to that one really quick, boys. I mean, Game 7, Islanders Lightning. I mean, Islanders again giving Tampa fits for the second straight year in the third round.
It's a really weird series, man.
There's a lot of cool storylines, right? Like more than I thought there would be going into the like you have the Islanders, right, trying to close out Nassau with a cup, which is really cool storyline. Carey Price trying to add to the pretty much the only thing Carey Price hasn't won as a cup. He's won everything else. Yeah. So that's a cool story. And then Tampa, well, I guess, circumventing the cap and making sure it pays off, I guess.
Well, and then Tampa, it's like, can they be the first team in the NHL to go back-to-back in the last 6 years? Okay.
For sure.
I guess it wasn't that long ago.
Right.
No, because Pittsburgh did it, right? But I don't know. I mean, like, it's really, it's a lot of really cool storylines like left alive right now, more than I thought there would be at this point, honestly.
And has there been any word on Kucherov at this point?
Not that I've seen.
Game time decision. Yeah. See, that was another thing that I thought was so funny is like, they're talking to DeBoer and it's like, so we going Fleury, we going Leonard or whatever. And it's, I'm not telling you. And I'm not. And meanwhile, there's a group of people in the background going, if he doesn't do Leonard, he's a fucking moron.
Oh man. Yeah, that's going to be a fun one tomorrow night, Game 7 of Islanders Lightning. I don't know who would Montreal want for the Cup final. Islanders for sure. I don't think it
matters.
Or is it? It's awesome.
Yeah, what does it matter after what they just did to Vegas? Like, are they afraid of Tampa? I wouldn't be.
I'm right with Ian.
Like, I don't think, like, for all the teams like going into the Cup final right now, if I'm Montreal, I feel like I can take on the world. It doesn't matter. They just look what they did. You watch what Vegas did to Colorado, and then what they did to Vegas. They're gonna handle Tampa just fine.
Yeah. Well, and if you're the NHL, that's the series you want. You want Tampa versus Canada because you can market Price versus Vasilevsky. You can
For
market,
sure.
can this team go back to back for the first time in 6 years? But like they can try to build up that talking
Back-to-back
point,
championships is a big deal in the Cap era, though.
Yeah.
right?
It's
Absolutely.
an absolute big deal. Like, even though it was only done 6 years ago, that's a big deal because you go back and I mean, like everyone's like, oh, well, the Blackhawks aren't really a dynasty because they never won any of their championships back to back. Same with the Kings.
No, dynasty to me, 3 and 5, that's a dynasty.
Yeah, and,
For sure. Oh yeah, I completely agree.
And kudos to them just getting back to the final at this point. I think that's something to do in the Cap era. But again, a lot of people are going to question, with the Cap circumvention and everything like that. So, AJ, I don't know.
But I mean, Chicago did it too. Like Tampa's the most egregious team to do it, but Chicago won a cup doing the exact same thing.
Yeah. But and I've been meaning to ask, do we need to put Dangle on suicide watch now?
Oh, dude.
Nah.
The title of his last podcast is Montreal's going to win this, aren't they?
You had a question for me?
Yeah, I don't know if you have NHL Network on there, but they were doing the press conference. So you have to have the shirts and the caps for everything.
Jesus Christ.
How would you feel about being a Stanley Cup semifinal champion?
Stanley Cup. Is that what the hat says?
That's what it says. I'm going to try.
Well, yeah, because there's no conference. It's fine. It is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. But again, those hats. I mean, we thought the hats that I remember droning on for probably a good 15 minutes about how abhorrent and abysmal the hats were that Dallas was wearing when they won the trophy to go to the Cup. And it literally looked like, some monkey with a batch of blank hats and a bottle of crazy glue and a box of patches just started going boom, boom, and just started making these hats somewhere during the third period. And then they just handed them out. And that's unfortunately where we're at with Fanatics. They're just going to put out the worst, a fucking trucker hat for that's just so cheap. So I mean, for as much money as Fanatics is valued at, I mean, I guess you can see why, because evidently they just nickel and dime everything. Those hats are putrid.
Yeah, they're bad, and the shirts aren't helpful either. I'm just looking through shop.nhl.com and it's like, and for that matter, are they going to put it in French?
Well, I mean, if you're smart, a smart person would. And a quick side note, our buddy Chris Creamer, Sports Logos, they put out what the MLB All-Stars are going to be wearing, and that's going to be the first time like in ever where during the All-Star game everybody will be wearing the same jersey. Usually They only wear like a National or an American League jersey the day before when they're doing batting practice and all that stuff, but they would usually wear their normal gear during the actual All-Star game. This time they're actually going to be wearing jerseys that are for the occasion. You've got the American League in blue, the National League in white. It's all good. The jerseys look okay. I mean, it does smack a little bit of, somebody at Nike going, hey, my nephew does graphic design. It has a little bit of that going on. But the thing is, you go, like these jerseys were just announced. You go to the MLBshop.com and half of the sizes are already sold out. So it's like the game hasn't even fucking taken place and you're already sold out of merch. I will never understand Fanatics business practices, but anyway, to get back to hockey.
Well, I'm just saying, I hope they come out with some with the French equivalent, because that's not gonna go off too well in Quebec for sure.
So when are we starting the Cup? Cup Sunday night?
Well, we have Game 7. I mean, tomorrow night.
Usually there's a couple of days before, like they're gonna do like some price and media stuff before I'd start probably early next week. Yeah,
Monday,
Tuesday maybe.
That should be fun.
All right.
I mean,
Because usually like they're gonna do like probably some media stuff between. Maybe not though, because it isn't normal times. So I don't know.
Well, and can I just say this for Hub? Am I the only one? Tell me I'm not the only one. How much are you enjoying hockey in July? I mean, in June, like, at the end of June. And the reason why I say this is because usually it's like, the cup is usually handed out 3 weeks ago on a normal schedule,
Like,
right?
Yeah.
End of May, very beginning of June. It's usually like by June 5th, we're all done. And
No, I think like June.
well, right now we'd be
about 10 days ago.
Yeah, we'd be in the middle of prepping for the draft in the regular time.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's so nice
Monday,
that we're about to for the summer sports, we're like what, a week ish we're a couple weeks away from the All-Star game, but we're about the halfway point of baseball. Usually we're done with the cup 60 games into baseball. There's still another 100 to go, and there's nothing. Like July, August, it's just nothing. I am loving having this late hockey because it's just going to make the summer a little bit shorter and make next season come that much quicker. And from what I understand, they're only talking, with the COVID and everything like that, rather than starting next season like on the 6th or the 7th, they're talking about starting it on like the 11th or the 12th. So only an extra week. I'm loving at where the schedule's at right now. Can we have hockey year round?
Hey,
if only.
I mean, I look at it this way. Why not bring back RHI? Have it be like a development system for, guys in the ECHL or AHL to play in. That's kind of what it was, way in the mid 90s. So, Kevin's saying they have already announced that it's going to be game 1 will be on Monday. So
there you go.
Wow.
So it's going to be a quick turnaround. So Montreal will probably sit at the airport tomorrow night wondering if they're going to Long Island or Tampa Bay to find out. So that's it. Speaking of Dangle, here's his response to a tweet. The Habs have literally put more money in my pocket than the Leafs in these playoffs, and I've honestly never disliked the Leafs more. The Habs, man, pleasure doing business with you, LOL. I'm having a blast doing these streams. If I waited for the Leafs, I'd be waiting forever. Giddy up. Because the poor guy the poor guy was supposed to be doing live stream of these Leafs games for Sportsnet's YouTube channel this whole time, and then of course that shit the bed, in 7 games.
Dude, after game 4, odds makers were, what was it? I think it was 9-1 that Montreal would get to the cup after game 4. Dude, that's not bad. You throw down $100 and get back $1,000.
Yeah,
that's a solid bet. And now and coming into tonight's game, the odds had shifted and Montreal favored to win the cup. And that was coming into tonight's game. Where do you think those odds have shifted now?
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Like I say, if I'm Montreal, I don't care who I play next.
Yeah,
I don't care. I'm gonna play the Islanders or I'm gonna play the Lightning, and there's nothing that I don't think this team can do now as long as Carey Price stays hot.
And that goes right to the point I was going to make, kind of getting into Sharks related business. It goes to show you how critical it is for a goaltender to make big saves in big games.
For sure.
I have the money puck numbers now. 21% to win the cup, Islanders. 37% Tampa, 42% Montreal.
Wow.
Clear. Well, a favorite by 5% over Tampa, but still solid. So, hey, they set these odds for a reason, my friend. That's, Vegas didn't invent itself. As far as last time I looked, Vegas did not pay for that city. It's all the people that visit Vegas paid for that city.
Now, my question is, what were the odds going into the playoffs for Montreal? Because there's somebody out there that paid that, who paid for that and is 4 wins away from breaking the bank.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the work isn't done, but like I'm done going against this team.
No. Keep it up because it's clearly working.
Why do you think I picked Vegas in 5?
Well, you know what? Jerkman, part of his bracket is still intact because he did have Tampa, I believe, getting all the way. So he's got part of his bracket intact. Yeah. More than I can say for myself. By the way, I just
completely exploded.
Oh yeah, mine was done after. I think mine was done about 5 games into the first round. Hey, Eric, I just hit you up on Twitter with something. I don't know if you can load that in real fast, just like as a quick overlay on this, but I'm loving it.
Well, you guys keep doing your thing, and I'll try to load it up.
Yeah. So now, of course, the other things that were announced over this time was the whole Matt Nieto thing. A lot of people now, look, I'm not going to shit on people because they're just, and when I say ignorant, I don't use that term, in a bad way. It essentially means like uninformed. It doesn't mean you're stupid. It just means you're unaware or uninformed. And I'm seeing a lot of people said, "Oh, it's going to be so great to have Nieto for the next 2 years." And I'm thinking to myself, so you're a Seattle fan now?
Well, I mean, maybe.
I mean, look at what
you could make a worse pick.
No. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is just like out of the options that are going to be on the table for San Jose to Seattle, who else would you take but Nieto?
I don't know, because here's the thing, right? And I'm gonna talk more about this on Sunday too. But here's the thing we have to remember is you're taking 30 players for a 23-man roster, so you don't have to pick a guy for every team. You can, you could pick, I don't know, somebody, anybody, right? You can pick like you could take a Ryan Donato and just let it not qualify him.
I just figured like if you want to compete, early and often, it's in my options are Donato, Nieto, Gambrell, Shimmick, or what, and I'm putting this together and you see what else is potential on the table. Seems like Nieto, for what he brings. I mean, every team needs a fourth liner, and it's nice to have somebody who's got legs, can score an occasional shorty, and kills penalties. Like, and at that price point,
you like I said, there are absolute worst picks you could make if you're looking at the Sharks roster. I just try to approach it from the fact that you don't need to take a player from every team.
Yeah. Well, Lacey saying Gambrell, I would disagree. I would take Nieto over Gambrell, and I think he brings a bit more to the table, especially at the price point. And then, although the price point might be about the same at this point, who knows? But mentioning Alex True, not a bad play. Not a bad play. I still think Nieto is just a bit more of a proven commodity at the same price point.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see because they still have to extend another forward. Like right now, if the expansion draft was tomorrow, the Sharks don't, they would, but going under the expectation that they're going to protect all the money, which is the expectation that I have.
Yeah,
they need to sign another forward to meet the requirements, because right now, if the expansion draft was tomorrow, they would have to expose one of LeBanc, Couture, Kane,
Meyer,
expose Meyer.
Yeah, expose him. I have no problem with that. So you gotta. You're a Photoshop guy. Do you not understand how layers work? You literally just have to drop it on top of what we're on.
Keep talking. Go on. You guys are doing great, by the way.
Look, this is. I can't wait to see what Vegas changes between now and next October. They're going to have to change some stuff, obviously. How Ian, you're probably more familiar with this than I. How screwed are Vegas when it comes to the cap? Because I've heard that it was like
they have decisions to make for sure.
Yeah, like they really needed to try to do this quick, because if they didn't, they were going to get screwed. And that also their pipe isn't that deep as it could have been because they made so many moves to try to compete ASAP.
I mean, I still think they have some guys that can step in and play meaningful minutes for them next year, on the cheap. But they're gonna have to they have to do something here. Let me bring up Vegas here quick, just because I haven't looked at Vegas in a hot second. But they are right now, they have how much cap space are they projected to have? Yeah, they don't have much. They don't have much wiggle room to play with.
And Alec
year.
Martinez is UFA too, right?
Yeah, right. I mean, you're gonna have to, if they want to bring back Alec Martinez, they're gonna have to, make a decision elsewhere. I mean, it's a nice goaltending tandem they have, and obviously having Leonard locked up after Fleury's deal's over is ideal for them because again, they're not going to lose a goaltender in the expansion draft. But yeah, $12 million in goaltending is a lot of money.
Well, and Rob asking, does Vegas trade MAF for cap relief? I mean, it's an option, but feel like there's gonna be a lot of goalies on the move this offseason.
It's gonna be hard. As good as Marc-Andre Fleury is this far into his career,
it's a buyer's market.
30s, yeah, and it is a buyer's market, and it's going to be a 37-year-old goaltender on a $7 million deal.
Show me my
definitely
graphic,
some
Eric.
risk there.
Yeah.
Show me my graphic.
There you go. From Last Word on Puck, we'd like to thank the Vegas Golden Knights for their participation in the Stanley Cup playoffs.
So enjoy your banner.
Yeah, there you go.
If you remember earlier, a few weeks ago on Twitter, the Vegas was popping off saying, towards the Preds, hey, does this warrant a banner or whatever? And the Preds, of course, responded saying, yeah, here you go. And it was literally a banner that said, this is why no one likes you, Vegas.
Yeah.
And you know what? I will say, you have to credit Vegas for embracing this whole douchebag, asshole, everybody against us vibe that they have. Because at least that is an identity that you can circle the wagons around.
And you know what? It annoys me. I said this in Discord the other night. I do get my backup sometimes watching some of the vitriol spewed at Vegas because this is the same shit that we've dealt with for years, right? Oh, you in California? What do you know about hockey? Fuck off, right? So I do get my backup a little bit about that. I think that, obviously, look, Vegas obviously had more success than other expansion teams have quickly, and I can understand people being upset about that. I am not one of them, but I can understand people being upset about that. But some of the stuff, it's just enough. After the shit that we've had slung at us for the last 30 years, I don't know, it's low hanging fruit.
No, I get you, but you get what I'm saying is that it's some of the stuff that has come from Knights fans. It has been pretty on the edge, kind of funny, kind of, again, ignorant, and again, not using a derogatory fashion, but, the Sharks, it was, oh, well, if they don't call that 5-minute major, the Knights win and blah, blah, blah. Okay, fine. It doesn't change the fact that you were the second team in history to allow that many goals in a 5-minute major. It doesn't mean
change the fact you blew a 3-1 series lead. Yeah, we know.
Yeah, but it also doesn't mean that if you beat the Sharks that season, it doesn't mean that you, if you had won Game 7, did you think you were going to get the cup, or that there were 3 more rounds that you still had to win? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's,
I don't know. I let people fan the way they want to fan.
Fan the way you want to fan.
I hate Vegas as much as the next guy, but I mean, I'm glad that for their market, I'm glad they lean into it. Honestly, they should.
Yeah,
absolutely.
They should fucking absolutely lean into it.
Fan the way you want to fan. I'm all about that. But the thing that I think is so funny is, a couple years ago, there was some preseason game, and I remember there was this whole hoopla that they had dropped a puck from 80,000 feet in the air. That was a big deal. And then they're posting that it's they had broken a record for like a preseason game attendance. And I'm like, oh my God, tell me you're a brand new team without telling me you're a brand new team. Right. But it was just like, you know what? Fine. Good for you. But look, we just saw 2 nights ago, first time, at least on record, that people talked about it, that their own fans booed them.
Yep.
They're all grown up. They're all grown up now.
Yeah.
The honeymoon's kind of starting to go
short.
away.
Yeah, that the bloom is off the rose, my friend. Like it's a short. These guys missed the playoffs a couple seasons in a row, and now talk to me about your attendance and blah blah blah. Like we've been here for 30 years. We've seen it happen. We predicted this would happen. Talk to me in 5 or 6 years. Blooms off the rose, and you miss the playoffs for 2 seasons. But anywho.
But I still think I still think they're gonna do well. Like I think the idea, because the idea when they came in the league, it's gonna be a visiting team's barn. That is not a visiting team's barn.
No, not at all. And I will be the first one to say I was totally wrong about that.
Yeah,
no,
I was way wrong about that.
Even when I went to the game, there's only like 3,500 people there for Patty's record-breaking game. I mean, there were a lot of Sharks fans, but Vegas
visiting team's barn. To be fair, there were a lot of Montreal fans at that last game.
Montreal fans are like they're. But I mean, but that arena is like loud. It's not like we've seen arenas get taken over by other teams. Like I think a good example is if you go back and watch some tape of like an Ottawa-Toronto playoff series in Ottawa, and count the blue sweaters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No.
Vegas is not that.
Credit to Vegas. It was like they looked at everything the Thrashers did and said, what if we do the exact opposite of that?
Yeah.
And it's worked out brilliantly.
Robin Leonard put out a tweet.
Go ahead.
Yeah, but he has been known to read the tweety from time to time.
No, it's super classy. Like, honestly, I hate Vegas, but I have all the time in the world for Robin Leonard. He just said, congrats to the Montreal Canadiens. Hell of a series. Best of luck in the finals. Tough loss tonight, but proud of how everyone worked this season. We were right there. We will come back better. Thanks to all the people who supported us this year, and good luck to Carey Price.
See, now can he spread a little bit of that class magic around the locker room, particularly maybe a little extra helping at Marchessault's locker?
That's Marchessault's job though. But like for like players, like I have all the time in the world for Robin Leonard.
Yeah, absolutely. Marchessault can kick rocks, but Leonard, absolutely.
Oh shit. Yeah. Alden saying it's been fun reading the comments on Vegas's last Instagram post.
Absolutely. I can't wait.
I haven't seen it, but that's what I plan to be doing in about 10 minutes from now.
Yeah.
So wrap it up here.
All right.
I'm gonna cruise over to Sin Bin, see what's going on there. I'm gonna enjoy this.
Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting night, but I look forward to it. Maybe we'll do some Stanley Cup After Darks. We'll see. It should be fun. We'll probably be back tomorrow following Game 7 of Islanders Lightning. I think that'll be fun to see how that goes down as well. So be on the lookout for that. Be on the lookout for Teal Tinted Glasses Sunday night, 7:15 Pacific time. So
I think so. I'm gonna just confirm that with the gents. We might get to, because there's no game on, we might go a teeny bit earlier, but I gotta make sure the kids are in bed, so we'll see.
All right.
So as Monica Geller would say, 7.
So the best thing to do, hit the subscribe button right here. Of course, hit that notification bell. You got a notification as we went on the air because we didn't tell anybody. We just jumped on and got in. So to the 43 of you watching, thank you very much. We appreciate it. Tell all your friends about it. And if in case you missed this or you want to watch this again, check us out on tealtownusa.com or your favorite podcatcher, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify, TuneIn, iHeartRadio. I think we're going to be on Odyssey shortly. And, of course, always available at tealtownusa.com.
You have to pay money to be on Odyssey.
Oh, well, fuck them then. All right.
Yep.
All right.
I think we're on enough fucking platforms, to be honest with you. I think we're good.
So, AJ, your final thoughts and where do people can find you?
Montreal, keep doing whatever it is you're doing. Find me at AJ_Strong on everything.
And
Oh, I'm sorry. And maybe I'll toss this over to the boys on Sunday. I'll just slide into Ian's DMs. But a couple of weeks ago, started that we're going to start doing a giveaway every Sunday. I announced the winner from this past Sunday, and congratulations, Anthony. If I go check USPS tracking, it should arrive tomorrow. But we'll have another winner to announce, and we plan on announcing one every Sunday until the season starts. So since Ian has bogarted my time slot, dude, I'll have to send him over the winning name so we can announce it.
all right, and Ian, where can everybody find you?
You can find me at Ian Blogs Hockey on the Twitter machine. It's funny because like this was like going into this round, I'm like, oh god, it's gonna be like the Canadiens and the Islanders, and I'm gonna hate the final. But with all, like I said, with all the storylines there, I'm actually pretty invested, which surprised me because I was like, this is the nightmare scenario. GMs are gonna like trip over themselves trying to replicate this, and the league's gonna be worse for it. But so far so good. I mean, I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. It's the cup final. I was going to get up for it.
Every team looking for 4 Clydesdales.
It's true.
Absolutely. I'm at PuckGuy14 on the Twitter and the Instagram. Again, we'll be back with you tomorrow night following Game 7 of Isles Lightning. Will I be wearing a Fisherman jersey? Will I be wearing a original Tampa Bay Lightning jersey? We'll see. But it's going to be fun either way. Of course, Teal tinted on Sunday night. So hit that subscribe button down below. And until, well, wait, let me share one Instagram comment on here. As a diehard Golden Knights fan, please fold the team. This is not a hockey town and contains the worst and least knowledgeable hockey fans of all time. It's been to watch this poverty franchise continue to operate in the NHL. Please rotate the Vegas Golden Knights to Houston immediately.
Has this person never seen a game in Arizona?
Like, damn, are we melting
down?
Sir,
I do declare you have offended my delicate sensibility.
Oh, my goodness. So until then, keep it real, keep it teal, keep it real teal. Have a great night, everyone. We will see you very soon.